Seeds of Change is the first of 3 DLCs included in Season 4 of Anno 1800. It adds a ton of great features focusing on the new world, and specifically adds the new Hacienda building, which is going to be extremely powerful. On top of this, you also get access to the Seasons of Silver scenario, which sees you playing as Vasco Oliveira as you battle the weather to hit deadlines and establish a royal silver mining operation in a remote new region. For this video, I'm going to be focusing on the new content added to the sandbox, as the scenario is best experienced for the first time by yourself. If you do want to see some content on how to beat the new scenario, then drop a comment down below and I might do just that. Now let's waste no more time and dive right into what this new content is and how exactly to use it. So what is a Hacienda and what can it do? It works similar to the Palace from the Seats of Power DLC, where you create one main building and then several modules attached to it, eventually resulting in a large sprawling megastructure. However, you can have one of these buildings in each of your New World islands, meaning you can give them a very major boost and make them specific to each island's individual needs. Let's start by looking at the main building. To start off with, it doesn't produce anything by itself, but you'll notice a few things. Firstly, you can click on this symbol to enact one of 5 policies for your island. You can reduce the food needs of all residences on the island by 30%, increase the productivity and reduce maintenance cost of all lumberjacks, increase the storage of all depots by 75, cause all Obera residences to produce influence, and increase the loading speed of all harbour buildings by 50%. Your island must be at a certain level of attractiveness to unlock these later ones, but that's a small price to pay for some of these insanely powerful effects. After this, the second thing you'll want to make note of is the purple circle around the main building. This is the radius that you can place modules in before they stop working. This does mean you are limited in your modules, so you can't have an island-wide superstructure, but this is still plenty powerful. Okay, so now let's get into what exactly you can actually do with this bad boy. There are 2 types of path, and both share capacity and do the same thing. Connect modules to the main building, similar to how roads connect everything on your islands to the docks. And you can actually use these to connect non-Hacienda buildings to your docks, but this is generally ill-advised due to their limited amount. You can build residences for journaleros and oberos, which come with different needs but also double the capacity of normal residences. This can allow you to massively increase your population in a much smaller space. And don't worry about those needs that require a ton of old world products, we'll come back to that in a little bit. Storerooms increase your island storage capacity, pretty straightforward one there, and now farms is where things get exciting. As you can see from the drop down, you can grow any of these goods, and this is ignoring fertility, so you can now grow grain, spices, potatoes and more in the new world, as well as a bunch of the other normal crops regardless of your island's limitations. This is insanely powerful, as fertility is now almost a thing you can just ignore and settle wherever you want. On top of this, they also only require 64 crop fields to reach 100% production, and they can make use of tractors, fertilizer silos and trade unions, which we'll come back to shortly. So that's smaller farms that can grow a ton of crops even without fertility. Pretty top tier. The brewery is where you make use of the crops you grow, and you can use them to craft one of many goods that can be shipped across your islands and your empire. You'll also notice we have 2 brand new products, hot sauce and a tole. For now, these are limited to the new world, so will not need to be shipped between instances, but everything here can be should you want or need to later. And finally, the fertilizer works. This is yet another way to increase the output of your crop farms. To acquire fertilizer, you must construct animal farms within the radius of a fertilizer module. This will cause animal farms to produce dung, which will then be transported to your module and made into fertilizer. This can then be transported to your warehouse and be usable on any crop farm, as well as being transportable between islands and instances. Providing a field with fertilizer will increase its productivity by 100%, so you can save a lot of space simply by making use of a byproduct and placing your animal farms well. It's also worth noting that you can use fertilizer alongside tractors to increase the size of your fields, as well as their productivity, to achieve up to 400% productivity without any other modifiers. This isn't including events on your island or trade unions. And the last thing you can build to do with the Haciendas is decorations. This is of course totally up to you, but if you're into beauty building, there are plenty of pieces to play with here, and you can really make it look pretty nice. Plus, if you get a really pretty island, you unlock these later tier policies, so you can't really go wrong. Now, is this DLC worth it? This DLC adds a lot more depth to your New World islands with gameplay that grants you immense rewards the deeper you go into the system. And also, we know that Season 4 is going to add a 3rd tier to the new world, so this is going to set you up perfectly for that. It scales nicely into the mid to late game, as you require late game materials to use all of the buildings to their fullest, meaning you're likely to come back to your structures to improve them over the course of your game. Overall, the Hacienda is extremely powerful and spices up the new world gameplay a lot, and if you enjoy these sorts of megastructures, then this DLC is going to be a great one for you. I'd definitely recommend picking it up and giving it a try, and if this is any indication of how the rest of Season 4 is going to be, you should be very excited indeed. And that is everything I have to say for now about the Seeds of Change DLC for Anno 1800. Let me know what you think of this DLC in the comments below, and what you think of this video by leaving a like or a dislike. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I really do enjoy Anno, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the Season Pass has in store. And finally, I'd like to thank every single supporter of the channel, in particular Adam T and Dominic Shamas, and of course Henry Tucker for his support at That Unclean Ones tier. One more thank you to every single supporter, one final thank you for watching, and for now, I've been COLONELDAMNEDERS, and I will see you next turn.